body is full of gasoline. You're a machine. That's what I want for you. Flesh. There's nothing like it.
In a genre dominated by ghosts, killers, and supernatural entities, Spot Me dares to ask a more intimate and terrifying human question. What if the real monster is ambition itself? Hello, Hollywood and viewers. My name is Bethany Aline, and I am interviewing two ambitious stars on the horizon, Skylar Okerstrom-Lang and Julian Enriquez. Hello.
Hello, Bethany. Thanks for having us.
Oh, great intro. Great intro.
Mm-hmm.
Thank you for being here. I appreciate you two today.
Of
Yeah,
course.
thank you for having us.
You're very welcome. So I saw that you two have a bit of a filmmaking history, and I've had the opportunity to see your other film, The Shortest War, and I would like to talk about that briefly before we
Yeah.
dive into Spot Me, if you don't mind.
Yeah, please do.
Okay, great. So I realize that you both won a few awards for this. Congratulations in the
Thank you.
Sacramento International Film Festival.
Yes.
Congratulations. You
Thank you.
won Outstanding Latino Short Film.
Yes, we did.
And Skylar, you received Best Actor in the short film on the same day. Congratulations.
Thank you.
Yeah.
How was that? How was the experience, you two?
Well,
Well,
I would say the festivals that we went to, we didn't win any awards, and that was so like, I mean, it's always fun to win awards. Awards are neither here nor there, but the Sacramento International Film Festival, that was a festival that we didn't get to attend. So we were a little bummed out that we didn't attend that one where, because I believe that was our first award, but I was actually at Idlewild International for Skylar's award, but I was the only one on the team present there. So when Skylar did win Best Actor at that festival, I went up. I thanked everyone on his behalf, and all the winners, like there was this like big poster that Idlewild had, and all the winners had to like autograph their name. So I plagiarized Skylar's signature on that poster. I don't even think I told Skylar I did
yeah,
that.
you didn't tell me that.
On
I was
behalf
I
of
was there. I
Skylar.
was there in spirit. I had butterflies in my stomach because I was just texting Julian after I heard that I was nominated, and I was like, "Oh my gosh, I didn't even know like this was even on the docket of possibilities." So I was like coaching pickleball here in LA and just like waiting for to see if I get called up there.
That's great. So were you all sweaty when you found out where you couldn't really post a picture right away because you were like,
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. I was coaching
But
probably
he
some
got
9-year-olds as I was hearing about it.
well,
he got a little thing that he would put on his wall. I don't even know what
Like
he
a little diploma.
Yeah, you got like a little
you have to
diploma.
show us. Send me a picture of it
I
when
will,
you're
I
on the
will.
interview. But I'm glad that you were there, Julian, at least. That's good.
Yeah. Yes, it was a fun little town. If no one's ever been to Idlewild, California, it's like in the mountains, like going towards Palm Springs, and it's like right before you drive down the mountain to get to the desert. It's like this little hidden town, and it's like super weird and cool. And they got like one local cinema that like hosts the entire festival. And it was cool. It was a fun 5 days. I got snowed in on one of the days. I literally couldn't leave my hotel room because there was like 6 feet of snow. It was crazy.
Oh, so
But
you were making it. You were digging through the snow to get.
yeah, no, I wish I had the picture like on. I would have to like look through it. But like the next day, I got to my car and it's like almost to the window of just like covered in snow. So it was just it was a wild time. But I got to binge a bunch of TV shows, so that was a plus on being snowed in for 24 hours.
There you go. So, going back to this before we go on to Spot Me, though, I did notice that if I had to tell someone who didn't get to view it yet, I would say it escalated rather quickly.
Yeah.
Uh,
Yes.
putting it that way without giving it away. So, was this, would you say, a war revolving around the drug epidemic? Am I right?
No, so I wrote a feature film with a buddy of mine, Joseph Horta, who's my co-collaborator in the short. And we wrote this feature on my dad's life. So I play my father in the film. And he was a part of the second shortest war in US history called, I believe it was the Battle of Granada. So he was like a kind of a part of that war. I didn't want the movie to be called The Second Shortest War. So I just lost the world's shortest war is how I got the title. And then yeah, so I wrote that feature, and although there's no like military um examples in the short, I took 10 pages from that feature film, which I deemed to be like the more exciting part of the short. And I filmed it. And one, because I wanted to collaborate with Skylar, who's my best friend. And when I was having conversations with my father about the characters and the people who were involved, he just was like, yeah, the leader of the gang was like some tall white dude who looked like Jesus. And I was like, I know a tall white dude with long curly hair who can fit that part very easily. And it literally, as soon as he said that, I was like, Skylar's that part. And I so desperately wanted to collaborate with Skylar. So it all just kind of worked out the way it went. But yeah, so not necessarily the drug epidemic, but yeah, a very short war called the Battle of Granada. I think it was like three days, and my dad didn't even see any combat, but he remembers like the alarms going off on the military base and how he describes it. They got on the trucks, and he was in Okinawa, Japan. So by the time they got to the ships to be deployed, I think they like had already called them off, like, oh, we don't need you guys anymore. And so he never got to see combat. So that is why it's called the world's shortest war.
Okay. So it's inspired based off of true
Yeah,
occurrence.
true event. It's a the way I say it, it's told from one man's memory. That
Yeah.
that that is how I describe, instead of saying based on a true story, because I mean that it's I know things are probably
Memory is interpretation.
exactly. I know things are probably exaggerated, and my dad loves exaggeration as much as I do. So uh, that is how I describe it, based
Yeah,
on
and the
what.
story that you see in the short is basically the consequences of the events that unfold in the short lead to him being
In
Julian's
the
character, his father being sent to the military.
Yeah.
Wonderful. All right, got you. And that's also a great compliment to your friend because Skylar, if someone said, "Oh, I know a blonde Jesus," I'd be like,
Hey! That's
all
great.
right. So thank you for sharing briefly about
Yeah.
Shortest War because I just needed to
Thank you for
know.
watching.
Yeah.
Of
I'm glad you
course. Of
I'm
course.
glad you watched. I hope you enjoyed it.
Yeah,
I
we
did
basically
very
like
much.
just finished our festival run on it. Ended it in Wyoming International Film Festival, where Julian and I just got back from.
Yes.
Oh, well, that's wonderful. I saw that you guys had a long list of
Yeah.
No, I
festivals that you were in. So
I
congratulations.
texted when I saw your email yesterday. I had texted my producer, "What are the film festivals we went in?" And this morning he just sent me a super long list. I
It's
mean,
a
we technically have one more film festival that we might get into.
Ooh,
I
I
hope
think,
you do because it was
yeah,
wonderful. And on
that
top
is,
of that,
yeah.
you guys are working at such a fast pace. So congratulations.
thank
I
you.
see big things coming for you. It's
Thank
wonderful.
you. Well, when the industry is slow, I mean, we just we gotta turn
We
and burn.
find the inner industry.
Yeah.
So now let's talk about the film Spot Me.
It's
That's why
feature
we're
season.
all
Yeah.
right. So both films are totally intense, but it seems that you took a bit of a genre turn this time.
Yeah.
Mhm.
All
Yes,
right.
we did.
So, how did the concept of bodybuilding meet body horror? And how did you do this in your creative process?
Well, basically, we kind of made the decision first off. It's like, let's write a movie together. That was the first decision.
Yeah.
And we started working on a script that Julian has been working on his own for a while called Spiral, which is basically like a black comedy about like almost like a black romantic comedy. And we were talking to our producer, and we're like, we're working on this movie. It's going to be awesome. He's like, that's cool, but I have some distributors that are looking for some horror stuff. And we were like, um, okay, let's shift. And we basically came up with like 15 different log lines of stories that we really like resonated with and wanted to work on. And we sent 15 log lines to these distributors, and they were like, bodybuilding cannibalism, that sounds great. And then that was basically the initiation of us starting to work on it. And then it was just so natural how body horror and bodybuilding fit together. Body dysmorphia, the self-destruction of the body as a metaphor for just self-worth and who we are, and the nastiness that can come out of the effects that we can create. Just really were right in front of our eyes.
Yeah, and I feel like there's like been a trend of movies to kind of lean towards that body horror um esque film. Like there was Love Lies Bleeding, there was what, The
The
Substance,
Substance.
there was him coming out. So there and then I think I'm forgetting one more, but there's just like a plethora of movies where it's like, okay, we're kind of in that right
Yeah.
uh that
Now's the time.
like, yeah, now's the time to do this. And
We could say you could say my favorite word, Julian, if you want.
the zeitgeist.
The zeitgeist.
Wait,
We were
explain
riding
what's
the
going on.
zeitgeist.
Yeah, exactly. And yeah, beautifully said, Skylar. Yeah, that's kind of how it came. Hey, he forgot to mention we did work on one other concept before
Oh
Spot.
gosh.
It was called The Essay, and we worked on it for like 2.5 weeks, maybe 3 weeks, and we were so set on the
We
essay.
put our everything in.
Yeah, we were like outlining, we were like I think we had written pages, and like 3 weeks later, our producer was like, "Yeah, actually, this idea sucks. You need to change it."
Oh
Get
no.
And so then we shifted towards Spot Me.
Spot me.
And we started this in January of last year. So
Yeah, 2024.
yeah, January of 2024 is where we landed on
Wow.
Spot Me.
Now we're here and
And
it
now
is
we're
go
here.
time.
It's
Yeah.
happening.
I love that whole concept too about talking about the body dysmorphia and things that not only, there's this statistic that women just go through it, and it's not
Yeah.
true.
Yeah.
Both genders definitely go through this. So it's a wonderful time to be producing such a film.
Yeah. I think, yeah, we really want to talk about men's mental health, and, guys don't talk about anything, but, those silent messages, like when even me personally, like when I'm in the gym and I look in the mirror and I see another guy who like is my height but a little more shredded than me, you do not want to know the thoughts that are going through my head. It's like
Or just
the
even
things.
even when Skylar and I are working out, just comparing each other,
Oh,
like it's just like we're best friends, so like we're able to handle it in a way, but like we also work together, so like everyone at our day job knows what we're doing, and so like
Right.
they love
like
to be like, who's stronger, who looks better, who's this, who's that. And I mean, we
yeah,
like to be very cordial about it, but like I know in both of our heads, our ego is
we're
probably
getting
like
cooked.
so
We're getting
crazy. Yeah,
cooked.
our ego is probably so crazy, and
Not
it
to
is.
mention, you're
Yeah.
both polar opposites. He has like light features. You have those exotic
Yeah,
features.
it's so
So
funny because yeah,
it can go either way.
we're so different, but yeah, like it's just like any kind of comparison. You can, if you're like in a weak spot, and a weak spot can be me and Julian only having 1,500 calories in a day, and we're really on edge.
Yeah.
I'll have some dark thoughts, and I think guys, especially, like there's kind of like an assumption that we can kind of just take anything, and like we can just take those like comparisons, and I'm kind of like I'm a positive guy, so I'm always smiling and I'm happy about life and stuff. But like, gosh, like I'm just like everyone else. I still feel those comparisons, and I have to fight through those too.
Sure, especially in this industry, of course.
Especially, yeah.
Yeah. I mean, it's hard. Nobody wants to admit that they might feel a bit vain with their looks or anything, but in this industry, you have to be ready. Like even the
Yeah,
smallest bit, it's such a problem. So
yeah,
I really
Yeah.
imagine working out so intensely on the scale that you two are, going
Yeah.
through that physical transformation, which I also need to ask, how does it also shape your emotional connection to the characters that you're portraying? Because I'm sure that they go hand in hand since,
Yeah.
you have to physically transform for this type of role.
Yeah.
Mm.
yeah. I mean, well, we shot a sizzle reel for the project back in November that you can see on our Instagram and Facebook and stuff. We'll send you a link. And leading up to that, I basically we treated it like a production. So like 3 weeks, I was cutting down my weight. I was trying to like get as cut as possible, and with that comes the lack of food and the lack of carbs and the lack of mental clarity. And I remember watching a YouTube video and seeing a bodybuilder say, the worse you feel, the better you look. And that's like a huge kind of sentiment in the bodybuilding community. So it was like leading up to that, I was still working basically full time as a pickleball coach. So I needed to make sure that I ate my carbs, before I knew I was going to talk to people so I could be nice to people. And I had to let my girlfriend know about my diet and kind of try and make sure that she knows that I'm not taking it out on her and it's really just me low energy. So even before this interview, I had to have a little half cup of Greek yogurt just to make sure I'm on.
Make sure you're smiling.
Make sure
Yeah,
you got
but
the energy
Yeah.
to be
And
happy
also
and
you
alert.
had to Skylar also dehydrated his body before the shoot. So three
yeah,
days prior to the shoot, a lot of times when actors do shirtless scenes, well, Hugh Jackman is like the best example of it. So
yeah,
like Wolverine, when you see Wolverine shirtless and you see all of his muscles, Hugh Jackman dehydrates his body before those scenes so you could look more vascular, you can look more muscular. And so Skylar had saw this method and was like, I'm gonna do it. And he did it. And
yeah,
that's why he looks the way he looks in the trailer, because he looks
Oh,
pretty
you're
crazy.
ripped for sure.
yeah.
Yeah.
And
How did
to
you feel?
I mean, I felt I had a lot of feelings. I felt really good about how I looked, but I felt kind of crazy. I mean, I was directing, and I was glad I had a co-director because there were times where I couldn't even,
Oh.
direct, and I mean, vice versa.
Yeah,
But
probably
to
hangry.
definitely hangry. But to wrap the question about, how did it relate to the character? It's like the character is going through the same exact thing that I'm going through. So really, it made it so easy to step into the skin of the character because, I mean, I shaved. I got all tan. I looked completely different than how I normally see myself. So when I looked in the mirror, I was like, "Oh, that's just not Skylar. That's Dylan, and I'm Dylan." So all those thoughts of like how I treat people and those like anxieties of being hungry and stuff, all that stuff is exactly what Dylan's feeling. So all I had to do was say yes to everything that was coming into my system, and I just allowed it on camera. So it just made it easier, to be honest.
Yeah, you were really able to really tap in and connect with that role
Yeah,
to be portraying there. I could imagine it's a lot of people think like it's just acting. No, it's putting your all into it, your
Yeah.
emotions, physical.
yeah. I mean, having that daily routine and that kind of like world of like it isn't acting. It's just I'm trying to just be, and it's much easier to be the character if I'm being the character for weeks and weeks and weeks
Yeah.
beforehand.
Well, I see that weren't you under the guidance of the former Mr. America, Jason
You want to talk
Cosmo?
about Jason?
Yeah, so Jason, so that came after the teaser. So Skylar and I mean, like I said, we started working on this January of 2024. And so for that entire 2024 year, we have just kind of been doing our own research and YouTube videos, Instagram reels, TikTok, just as much as we can consume about this world. I mean, we even talked to bodybuilders, like professional bodybuilders outside, just like I said, doing our own research so we could just absorb as much as we can, and we would build workout plans like through that, and we would just work out on on ourselves. And from that point, I was on a bulk. And what a bulk is, you just eat as much food as you can. So my body was transforming the other way. I was gaining so much weight. So there was a whole other level of body dysmorphia there where I was like, I am purposely gaining so much. I gained 40 pounds. It was insane. Uh,
Oh,
and then I
really?
lost 40 pounds. And so after that year, at the start of this year, Skylar had, I mean, and it was Skylar had just like brought it to our attention of just being like, look, bodybuilding is a sport. And the further we get down the road, we got to treat it like a sport. And we are both professional coaches in pickleball and in tennis. And so, okay, with what any sport, what do? You practice. And so we just understand that we had to seek out like a professional to like truly show us and navigate us through this, like, because there was so much information about working
Yeah.
out and it can almost be like information overload. And when we were interviewing a bodybuilder at the start of this journey, his biggest advice was that there's going to be a lot of information and a lot of people are just going to contradict each other, and there's going to be a lot of mouths talking. He was like, focus on one voice and listen to that, and only listen to one voice because that will just make everything easier. And so at the top of this year, when we started working with Jason, that he became our voice and he became that guide for this journey. And yeah, he was been able. It was like we knew how to work out, but then like working out with him, it was like, oh, he's taking our what we know, and he's just like dialing it a little further to like make us like that much better.
Yeah, it was
So,
like it was like we were working out for the first time when we first worked out with Jason. And I mean, one of my favorite things is like day one of working with Jason Kozma, he's like, "Hey, why didn't you tell me about your shoulder injury?" I was like, "What are you talking about, bro?" He's like, "Your shoulder's all f***ed up." And I'm like, "What?" And he's like, "Yeah, dude, he keeps wanting to get involved in every single exercise." I'm like, "Oh my God." And then like basically for the past 3 months now, instead of doing my workouts just normally, now I'm like trying to really hunch my shoulders down and kind of figure this whole system out. And he's made us so much more aware of our bodies and like
yeah,
little muscles and each exercise, what it's specifically doing. And then between every single set working with Jason, we're posing, we're doing all our poses.
yeah.
And then every 3 weeks, we would do a check-in with our diet and our body fat percentage. And he's been running us through the ringer, and it's been awesome.
Yeah.
So how did you obtain him to like be your trainer?
Yeah.
You know,
So,
pretty
I
big.
mean, I was just hunting for a IFBB, like an international fitness and bodybuilding trainer, in LA who focused on bodybuilding. And it was actually harder to find than I would think. I was just Googling and looking, and I just happened upon his page, and he had his phone number on there, and I just texted him, and I jumped on the phone with him that day and kind of negotiated a 3 month deal with him. And we found out it would cost about, $6,000 to $8,000. So we were like, okay, how are we going to get that money? Let's try and raise some money through the pickleball squad. So we ended up asking our membership to support us on this journey, and they were more than happy to get involved. And we raised $6,000, hired him for 3 months, and now we are officially 7 days out from competing in our first bodybuilding show under his tutelage.
Yes.
I was just about to bring that up,
Here
where
we go.
now we are blurring the lines between fiction and reality.
Yes.
There we go.
We're not eating anyone, but we're competing in real life. So I see that you're both in the Venice Muscle Beach bodybuilding competition September 1st on Labor
Yeah.
Day.
Yes.
Yes.
Wow. So
Yes.
are you feeling prepared? Are you pumped? Are you ready?
Feeling prepared. Yeah, go, Julian.
I still can't believe it's real, to be honest with you. I keep telling everyone's like, "Are you excited?" And I'm just like I still can't comprehend what I'm doing. Like I know that I'm going to do it because I am currently like I've been doing everything that, we've been doing with Jason, but I still haven't wrapped my head around like, "Oh, I'm going to be armpits shaved, leg hair shaved, tanned up to the max
Let's go.
on stage posing. Like I still don't like feel like that's a real thing, but I know
Look,
And
look,
underwear this big.
I don't know if Julian will admit, but I definitely roped him into this, and
oh, he definitely did. My character does not have to. I do
no, he
not
doesn't have to do this at all.
this.
But I'm like, bro, like we're writing and directing this thing. Who cares if we fall on our ass? Let's just do it. It's why not? We got to try it. We got to see what's going on.
For
Great
me as
experience
a,
at the end
yeah,
of the day. You're with your
come
best
on.
friend.
as a
That's
director, I feel like it definitely helps. Like it
Yeah.
definitely throws you in that world, and you do get like a perspective shift of, okay, I now know what a bodybuilding competition looks like, and I now can view it through this actual lens. And so that is one of the reasons why Skylar convinced me, or I don't even know if he told me that. I think I just told myself that to convince myself to do it. So
I didn't know
Yeah,
if Colin told you to do it.
yeah.
exactly.
I just know like through
Competition.
doing this how much we're gonna discover and like how much it's gonna fuel us and how much it's just gonna give us such a better gauge on just the truth of this pressure and stuff. So yeah, it's been a trip. Um, yeah, I've like built a whole week setup where I'm gonna be doing cardio every morning. I'm gonna be doing my lift in the middle of the day, and then I'm going back to the gym every night to work my posing routine. And I'm gonna do that every day this week to prepare myself for this thing that I have no idea what's gonna happen.
Yeah, I know. I did my cardio at 7 a.m. this morning.
Yes, sir.
Skylar and I are lifting with Jason after this.
Yep, 2:30 today. Yep.
And so
Well, stay
we're
hydrated
definitely
this time, Skylar.
Yeah, I'll stay hydrated until I gotta shed those last 3 days.
Thursday.
Uh,
Thursday's the day where we start water shedding, and it's going to be new for me. At least Skylar has like knows what to expect. I do not know what to expect.
Yeah.
Like Skylar said in the beginning, he's a little bit more positive, and he always has a smile on his face. I'm the opposite. If I get agitated, especially because when we started with Jason, like I said, I had been bulking up for like the role so I could bulk up and then cut down weight. When we got to Jason, Jason was like, okay, good. Like you bulked up exactly what you needed to. Now for the next 3 months, you're going to cut weight. And Skylar was bulking. And so while Skylar was enjoying life, eating as much as he can, I had been eating like 1,500 calories every single day for the last like 14 weeks. And so the last few weeks, I've been on edge. I've been on a little bit of an edge of just like, if someone says something that agitates me, I just like very quick and short with people. And then Skylar has to remind, hey, he's just hungry. He's just
He's
hungry.
just hungry.
Hungry. So I am terrified to see what the water fasting is going to be like.
no, I couldn't imagine being that parched. I'm a water guzzler, so
That's good. That's human. We're not doing something that's human.
yes, you guys are doing something superhuman.
Yeah, yeah, I guess so.
But with that being said, and doing this bodybuilding competition, what are you hoping that the audience is going to take away from your performance, whether it's there or even from this film?
Well, from the show itself, I just want people to know that we're standing on business. We're about this. You know, we are doing what we believe it requires of us, and we're not faking this bodybuilding thing as much as it is. This movie can be viewed a little bit campy, a little bit fun, bodybuilding, cannibal, da da da. Ideally, this kind of lets us in, and we want this movie to be really grounded and a really kind of like true empathetic view of an amateur bodybuilder. So that personally is like what I want the audience to see from it. And I also, what I mean, yeah, I mean, I just want them to see that we're about it. And then when it comes to like an emotional message or anything from the show and the movie, it's more just like I hope that people love their body, you know, because this is kind of the story of someone who doesn't and what they will do to get to that place of loving their body. But it's almost always like an illusion they're chasing through comparison, you know, and it's always something that isn't necessarily true to the person. He's looking at other people and trying to be like that rather than, you know, who am I and how do I love me in this moment? And I hope people can uh, see that their bodies are amazing how they are.
Yeah. That's
Beautiful.
well said.
How about you, Julian? What do you want your audience to take away from this film? What is the message that you're trying to convey here?
Yeah, I've been thinking about that a lot, and I can't say I am trying to convey a message. What I try to do whenever I make something is, okay, like this movie is about blurring the line, like how far are you willing to go to
Mhm.
perfection? I want to make a movie and I want the audience to feel like, let's see how far you can be on Dylan's side until you decide, oh, what he's doing is wrong. And I truly want to blur that line of like, I want to go like I just want to make a great movie and and that's what the movie is about. It's about how far are you willing to go? And I want the audience to be on Dylan's side the entire time. And then when it's over, I want them to be like, wait, he's a bad guy. Oh, this is actually ruining my perspective. Like I like Skylar said in his personal journey, I want to challenge people's
Yeah.
mind and people's just like interpretation of things. So I don't like necessarily with at least Spot Me in general. There's not like a specific message that I wanna be told. Skylar and I are both directing it, so Skylar's message will obviously be my message and my message of oh my God, my dog is throwing up. That's
Oh
crazy.
no, Duke.
He's fine. I think he had a hairball, but I was listening to that. I was listening to that. I was
Oh
like, oh, dude, he's
no.
puking right now. Spot Me. There you go.
Yeah.
Well, I have to say that's a first for me during an interview.
Yeah, me too. Me too. Now he's just staring at me like, oh, I threw up. I'm sorry.
Oh, Duke,
Fine.
Duke.
Come here,
Oh,
buddy.
I don't mean to laugh. I'm sorry.
No, no,
No,
it's
that's
okay.
okay. It's fine.
Different.
Duke's a trooper.
He's a sweetie.
But yeah, I mean, on what Julian's saying, there's like, I feel like there's all these moments throughout the movie where you can make a decision to jump off the Dylan train or stay on, and it's like there's moments where you decide if you're following a hero or you're following a villain, you know. And I, to Julian's point, I love that. Like, how long can you stick with him? And the people that stick with him all the way to the end, um, they're real people.
Yeah, yeah.
People.
They are people. You
Yeah.
know, like we
They're the
like I mean,
winners.
we talked about we've interviewed like a bunch of bodybuilders and people that are just big in the fitness scene, and we've asked the question like, if you could eat flesh in order to become the person you want to be, would you do it? And 9 out of 10 times they've said in a heartbeat.
Yeah. They
Oh,
Because
say
yeah.
these people that are in the fitness world that are putting it takes everything to put your whole life on the line. You put all your relationships on the line. You have to get permission from the people you love to pursue this thing because it changes your life and it changes your lifestyle. And if you could just eat a body and become that and still have the relationships around you, people would that would be people. I'm starting to understand.
I believe it because, even aside from bodybuilding,
Yeah.
women's pageantries and stuff like that,
Yes.
there's this need to be absolutely flawless. So, I mean, yeah, it's not as physically demanding, but in a sense, it's relatable. So
Yeah.
I
Like
know
you're
that
saying,
there's
the
a lot of
villain is
people that would,
ambition.
hopefully, it will spark conversations with masculinity,
Yeah.
mental health, ambition. It will tie all of that in. Is that what you're hoping?
Yeah. Yeah. I just want people to be okay with talking about these things because I feel like there's a lot of, I mean, especially like when we didn't have Jason and our training was this Instagram, YouTube videos, it's like half of it is education, but also half of it is these influencers, these coaches trying to prove how beautiful and perfect they are, you
Right.
know. And what's been really epic is over the course of this year and a half, we've followed a lot of these people. And it's so interesting because a few of them have come out of the woodwork and have said, like, we've been preaching that we're about all natural bodies, but we've been taking steroids since we started making these videos. Or, I have addiction in my life that I haven't talked about, and I've been using this to cover it up. It's like, it's so interesting what is behind that door of perfection, that facade that people put up. And it's a lot of people trying to pretend that they're not human beings and say, like, listen to me because I have the answers. And it's like, if you're someone who says like you have the answers, that's like a huge red flag for me, because like we don't know, man. Like, everyone's flawed.
Absolutely. And to be on that level, I'm not going to say that everyone's taking something, but usually,
Yeah,
I
no,
know
they are.
perfect. You go to extreme lanes. I could imagine there's compromise there.
Yeah,
absolutely.
Right. So is there any legal substances that people are doing today, or are we not gonna share about that?
I mean, anyone in the bodybuilding world is there most in order to compete legitimately in the bodybuilding world, for the most part, you have to be taking some kind of steroids, like something. You look at everyone, and like that's commonplace in the sport. That's just how it goes. And it's an anomaly to have natural bodybuilders. And most bodybuilders that say they're natural were taking steroids for 5 years, and then they just got off it 6 months ago.
Yeah, exactly. And now they can say they're natural because it's not in their bloodstream anymore.
Exactly.
Right. I did see one of the competitions did do drug testing, but I'm sure there's ways around it today. But
I mean,
a lot of bodybuilders were saying that they use creatine and stuff like that.
Yeah.
I didn't know if there's any legal ways of doing it that
just consistency, just have like a very consistent workout regimen, train very hard, take the supplements you need, recover when you should recover. And that will, in hopes, get you to where you want to be. I mean, I know Skylar and I are taking a plethora of supplements, legal supplements, like vitamins and stuff like that. But yeah, I'm curious to see this Muscle Beach competition, because it's going to be us who are we have not taken steroids, and it's going to be people who have taken steroids.
Yeah.
So I am just curious to, when I go on stage, am I going to be the smallest one there? Because I'm the only one I might be the only one that's not juicing.
Mm-hmm.
Oh no.
But what our pantry of supplies, what we got? BCAAs, glutamine, magnesium, zinc, fish oil, creatine, pre-workout, post-workout protein, maca root.
I got CLA. I got some estrogen things.
How are you hungry? Isn't that just like a meal of supplements every day?
It basically
is. Yeah. I mean, I think I sent Skylar a picture one time of just the palm of vitamin, like of just supplements I'm just shoving in my mouth every day.
Oh my gosh, taking it all at the same time doesn't give you the shakes, or
no, we're both always shaking all day anyway.
Oh, okay.
So, yeah.
So I get it. That's why you say that you almost have to talk to your family about this decision, because
it's
more than dedicated, you're devoted to it.
Yeah.
It completely consumes every bit of your life.
Yeah.
So after competition day, do you cheat and go on like a huge celebration?
Yeah.
All bunch of stuff appears?
Big time.
I think we're gonna go crazy. We might eat an entire something.
Yeah. We might eat whoever comes in second place.
Just to show them.
Yeah, just to let them know.
That's great. So, with this, I guess there are many challenges physically, mentally, with going through all those changes. We've been talking a lot about working out, but how about as producers? Being friends, your best friends. So that's great that you guys have that connection before ever filming.
Yeah.
But aside from that, I know that filming personalities arise. Like you said, sometimes you could be a bit irritable when you're hangry. So how do you find that balance between your friendship when there are challenges during production?
We just yell at each other a lot. No. Well, I think it's great because we are best friends. So it's like we understand that when we come to these disagreements, and we do have some heated freaking arguments, I think that, but what's great is that like we both know that we're really passionate about this. We both know that we are 10 toes down in it. So whenever we are come face to face with these challenges, like we're going to listen to each other because we understand the dedication that we're putting in. And I think we're getting better at letting the best idea win. Like no matter what, like at least me personally, like this has been a huge journey in ego and like trying to be right. And like I had a teacher who says, he says, you can either be right or you can be in relationship. And it's always better to be in relationship. And I have been coming around to that idea.
Me too.
That's a huge one when you're mastering your craft.
Yeah.
I'm one. I mean, this is the first. I love collaborating with Skylar. It is an awesome process to but I have never had someone challenge everything that I say. And Skylar is a challenger. I mean, that's just what he does.
I'm a devil's advocate.
Yeah, I think working with Jason, the first words out of Skylar's mouth was, we're gonna go, like, if we don't agree what you say, Jason, like I'm gonna go against you. Or he said we, and I said, no, you are. And I think Jason said, you can try. But no, I mean, Skylar loves to challenge, and I think it has definitely been a learning process on me of not necessarily trying to be right, but when I say something, make sure I can back it up. And I think with Skylar's challenging me, there has been some instances where he'll challenge something and I can't back it up. And so then Skylar will be like, hey, exactly, this is why I'm saying it should be this way or should go this way. And that is something that I've grown, at least, and am growing to learn that it's okay to be challenged and like not everything is going to be great right away. And yeah, I think because we know we both come from a place of love that our everything is rooted in love and it's rooted in like kindness. Like we know, like we can yell at each other, but at the end of the day, we'll always say sorry, and that is good.
We might take a day,
to
like let that breathe, and then usually we take that day after a disagreement, and one of us comes up and says, "Yeah, I was just fucking like I don't know what I was saying." Like,
having a moment, you were just hangry, not
scared. But I think like the collaboration, it's like we're making something better than what one of us would make on our own. At the end of the day, like that's the deal. Is like the thing that is being born out of Julian and I working together. I could never make on my own. Julian couldn't make on his own, and it's something that has both of us so completely in it that it's this awesome combination of so many emotions, of really fun, of really caring. Like we both feel protective, you know. I love it.
Yeah, no, I do too. It's definitely a great experience. And I would say the challenge with producing is not necessarily like the strain on Skylar and I's relationship, because at least this has been a test that it's definitely rock. But it's just, getting the movie made. It's just making that movie, getting that financing involved, and getting over that hump. And that's kind of where Skylar and I are at right now, is like, okay, we got a great script. We've been rated and we've been projected success. Great. We got like a producer and producers out in the world who make real things that are on board, and they like, that's great. We got a team of actors who are excited. They've read the project. They're ready to go. Great. And we got a team of crew, our DP, our makeup artist, our first aid, like everyone is ready to go. And now it's, that all costs money, and that all
does.
What Skylar and I have ran into the most in this process is when we send it out to financiers and have like meetings and discussing to get our budget. It's, oh my God, you wrote an amazing script. This is an awesome concept. However, for us, it's just too low of a budget. And I'm like, that's great. That should be awesome. That should be cool for you.
Yeah.
They're like, no, we need a higher budget.
Yeah.
There's a thing with Hollywood and accounting where you have to stay in. If you don't use it, you lose it. So,
Mm,
believe it or not, you'll get there because
yeah.
at the rate you two are going, I'm
Yeah,
sure.
we're taking it by storm. Oh, we're doing our Kickstarter. We're having meetings with people. Our Kickstarter is almost at 20% funding. It's been open for like a little over a week. So we're chipping away, and I have the uttermost belief in this, and I feel very confident and strong. And I haven't felt this confident about something in a long time, and so I vibes are high on this end.
Oh, absolutely. I'm pumped for you because
Thank you,
the
Bethany.
trailer that I saw, it was just very, very different from what I thought I was gonna see, and it just gave me like my brain just lit off like a Christmas tree
And I
because
love I love when people see that the teaser,
yeah,
because what a talking point that I like to tell Skylar is like, we made that for $0. That
Yes.
cost
really,
$0.
Yes.
So imagine what we can do with our budget.
That
yeah,
was most of the crew that we're working on the feature with. They volunteered their time for the most part. And they also, it was awesome that it was shot in 24 hours.
Yeah, one
And it was, yeah, one day on set. And what was great was a consistent message we heard from our Dallas crew and everyone that was working on it was, yo, I was so happy to see that you and Julian were making a movie because, like, we just make commercials and we're making all this like commercials product stuff all day, so it was awesome to finally work on something a little more theatrical, a little more creative. And that's like one of my biggest inspirations about bringing this to our crew of people is like they've been waiting to kind of express themselves on a project. And any meeting we have with our production heads, they're full of ideas and they're full and they can't wait to get involved in a bigger way.
yeah, yeah, we did. We shot it in I was
One day, $0.
one day $0.
it looks it is so professional. It doesn't look professional. It is
Yeah.
Yeah, thank
professional.
you.
Yeah,
Guys,
we're super proud. I mean, my favorite little anecdote
yes.
on set was I was mainly on camera the whole time. So I wasn't behind the monitor. That was mainly Julian behind the monitor. We do the first shot, which in the sizzle reel is the wide shot of me hunched over in the locker room. And it's the first shot. And I go up to the monitor and I glance at the monitor and it's better than I could ever imagine ever. And I say, I don't need to look at that anymore. I'm going to go back into my world. You guys let me know if you have any questions. Um,
You know
and I
that your
was,
friends got your
I
back.
was in,
You know
yeah,
you
I was
look
like, oh,
good.
Yeah,
wow.
I think I had the monitor in my hand. I just turned it to Skylar like that. He was just
I just
like,
turned around.
yeah,
I just turned
I don't
around.
need to see it. I don't need to see it.
I was already impressed. I am so much more impressed now that you told me $0, one day. Like
Yeah,
that's incredible. The places that you will go. I
I'm
promise.
Yeah.
excited.
It was a
No.
day. It was a day of travel.
Yeah.
That few
Oh
days.
wow. So you had all those other stressors on top
Yeah,
of
because
that too.
Skylar and I had to fly to Dallas, and then we had to fly back and do an audition. It was crazy.
Yeah.
Oh, it goes back to that ambition. You
That's
certainly
the
Yeah.
deal.
did.
We are intimate with it.
You did mention the Kickstarter, which I'm going to have a link below. Click on it, support. Yeah.
Please. Yes, you give 250 bucks and we'll build you a diet and workout plan
You have $1,000. You get to come to the premiere, our Texas or Los Angeles premiere
with a guest.
with a guest.
Oh, all right. You guys are going to have to give me a link so I can put that below for these
Yeah,
off.
Got you.
All right.
we'll do.
So, besides your Kickstarting campaign, are there any upcoming screenings or release parties that we can look forward to that I can link up with your article and get people more involved and excited to go?
Really, the main event is going to be this bodybuilding show. We're not doing any screenings of the sizzle quite yet. We don't have any fundraising events lined up, but we'll probably get some kind of pickleball event or some screening going in the next couple months, and we'll keep you posted. But really, I mean, especially this week, all our whole mind and soul is on this competition and our Kickstarter, and that's our main kind of like how to support the kids.
Yeah.
You got it. Well, that's for wonderful calls, and I definitely would love a follow-up.
Yeah, let's do it.
Be
All
great.
right. Well, thank you very, very much for your time today, gentlemen. Once again, we have Skylar, Okerstrom-Lang, and Julian Enriquez for the new movie Spot Me.
Thank you so much, Bethany. Such a
Thank you.
pleasure chatting.
Yeah.
Thank you so
Awesome.
much.